say now the only thing when they make me high. And when he high, he don't do I'm like he go. And he go say, I am feeling like to run. And when he run, that's why them go they talk. And when he shall let go say, in my mama wanna move. Stop people. In Papa wanna move. Stop people. I'm waiting to worry you. You don't marry before today. I already bought my suit. The honeymoon for before Takwa, but you know, yeah. In mama wanna move. Stop people. You know, yeah. Now we day. Yeah, but left. Stop people. You know, yeah. Now we day. I think I don't know, beg you, banana bastard. I see you every day, you take them like a custard. If I'm happy, you are mad. Oh, start better before you feel me so sad. Oh. When it starts, he go do you like it, go. And you go say, I am feeling like to run. And when you run, that's how them go, they talk. And when it's your leg, and then let go say, in my mama wanna move. Stop people. In Papa wanna move. Stop people. I'm waiting to worry you. If I don't marry before today. I already bought my suit. The honeymoon for before Takwa, but you know, yeah. Hey, mama wanna move. Stop people. You know, yeah. Now we day. Yeah, but left. Stop people. You know, yeah. Now we day. Hey, mama wanna move. Stop people. Hey, Papa wanna move. Stop people. Hey, mama wanna move. Stop people. Hey, Papa wanna move. Now we day. Yeah, but left. Respect, Felix King. Answer. It be you way say you want mamba. No. Scoosh. No. Good. No. It be you way say you want drama. No. Answer. It be you way say you want loud. No. Before, science student had nothing on me. Nothing on me. I used to take codeine, mix it with a lot of other things. A lot of other very risky things. Over time, the thing go. Skibbity papa, skibbity, hey. The thing go. Skibbity papa, skibbity pa. I nearly die overdose. Trauma nearly by me very close. Them say Colorado make a Kim go gaga. People wanna me still take a black mamba. Them hell I'm say you are mixing like a DJ. Akino get something to say. When them ask him, he said the thing they make me higher. He they make me know they tire. I'm always burning like a fire. Now the thing when I desire. Oh, you help me sing them like a fire. Now be what till you require. Till you go do not to retire before your body go expire. Answer. It be you way say you want mamba. No. Scoosh. No. Good. No. It be you way say you want drama.
That's NDLA. I'd like to appreciate all of those joining us from across Nigeria. Good afternoon and good morning, and for all our compatriots joining from other continents, and even a good evening to all of us also joining us from other parts of the world. I'm talking of those across Europe. Show today. Thank you once again for being part of these conversations that is coming to you live on our open forum that is on X Space. And this platform would like to remind us it's where we share information, knowledge, and raise awareness about substance abuse and its devastating impact on human lives, public health, and even our environment. Our environment is not spared. Again, we also like to say that indeed this platform also serves as a channel of providing help to those struggling with substance abuse who need treatment. We see quite a lot of those people who either they are part of this conversation directly, they listen in, and something happens along the line, or even some have even met some of our experts on this platform also through who they got some help, treatment support. And also on this platform, we've also tried to build networks and connect people from across the world. These are all of the great benefits that we provide on this platform, where we have quite a whole lot of experts and professionals coming together to share knowledge and facts about substance abuse and the devastating impact or consequences, so as to get people well equipped to take the right decisions, beneficial decisions when they are faced with the temptation or even the pressure to do the wrong thing. That's what all of this is about. It's again equally a means for us to update you about all the activities of this great agency that is the NDLA, especially what we're doing to curb the scourge of substance abuse and illicit drug trafficking, as well as also getting some feedback from you, because here we have conversation. We don't just talk to you, we talk with you. We have the conversation with you. We listen to your contributions. We respond and answer your questions. And all of those things make this platform very interactive. Okay, that's that way. We also, when we get your feedback, we also continue to improve on how we serve you, that is the society and humanity better. Would also like to let us know that indeed this conversation is recorded and is streamed live on our other social media handles, talking of NDA at NDLA01 on Facebook and at NDLA underscore Nigeria on YouTube. You can always go back to this recording, take a listen to it, and even share with others, especially those that you know will benefit from all that will be discussed here today. Definitely today we would be discussing something that um, quite across a lot of homes, families. There are those we've seen indeed that one of the predisposing factors to substance abuse is marital issues, issues in the homes, in marriages. And today we have someone who has spent quite years in focusing on providing support to family issues. She is indeed a clinical psychologist, or someone that we can also conveniently call a family psychologist, somebody who knows the issues in their families and who has been supporting these families with the coping skills. And all we would be looking at today is some of these issues in marriages, in homes, and coping skills to avoid going into substance abuse. And for those, because a lot of people look to substance abuse, to some of these illicit substances, as a way out of these issues. And our guest today would be discussing all of those in details for the benefit of everyone here today. Okay, before I get to invite our guest to make her presentation today, by then I'll probably, it's someone you know very well because she's been here before. And so before she comes, before I formally unveil her, well, I'm sure a number of you must have seen promotional materials on social media on her. But then for those who are just joining in because perchance you've not seen that, so I'll probably keep identity until it's time for her to come on board. But then before we get to all of that, let's get some of the updates about the activities of the agency in the past week, and that will come in our news highlight segment. I have two beautiful ladies that will put us through that, and that is Blessing Tafa and her colleague Netta Wedoze. I hand the mic over to you guys. Let's take a listen to what you have for us. Thank you.
My name is Blessing Tarfa, and I'm being joined on this segment by Netta Weduzi. Here are the NDLEA news highlights for the week. First, the headlines. Hairstylist dispatch rider arrested for selling drug-laced chin-chin to students' parties. As NDLEA intercepts drug consignments in car compartments, transport bus tire, recovers 426,888 pills of tramadol, others in Adamawa, Bauchi, destroys over 3 tons of cannabis in Edo Forest. And now the details. A 20-year-old hairstylist, Josephine Odunu, and a dispatch rider, Edesemi Iporo, 30, have been arrested by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency for selling and distributing chin-chin to school students and at social parties in Yenagua, Bayelsa State. NDLA officers on patrol around Opolo area of Yenagua had on Saturday, 10 March, intercepted the motorcycle dispatch rider Edesemi and recovered 200 grams of chin-chin produced with cannabis sativa, which he was on a mission to deliver to a buyer. A swift follow-up operation led to the arrest of the hairdresser Josephine, who distributes the drug chin-chin from the salon where she works in Pansia area of Yenagua. A search of the salon also led to the discovery of 3.0 kilograms, bringing the total weight of the illicit substance seized from the duo to 3.2 kilograms. Investigations revealed that they distribute the chin-chin often laced with cannabis and tramadol to students and at birthday parties. While Edesemi handles the delivery to buyers, Josephine is a major distributor to a wanted suspect who produces the drugs chin-chin. In the same vein, NDLA operatives in Adamawa State on Wednesday, 13th March, arrested 2 wanted suspects, Ajim Samuel, aka Boss, 30, and Davidson John Joshua, aka Mtala, 36, while on their way from Onitsha, Anambra State, where they had gone to buy a consignment of tramadol containing 14,428 pills of the opioid, which the civic car marked YLA623SL. They were nabbed along Numan Jalingo Road. Also recovered from them were 21 grams of cannabis and monetary exhibits totaling 19,218 naira. In Osun State, commercial bus driver Ogunleye Adegoke, 49, was arrested along Bongan Ibadan Road after NDLA officers discovered 2,000 capsules of tramadol, 60 tablets of rohypnol, and 10 bottles of codeine syrup concealed in the spare tire compartment of his vehicle. While a total of 343,000 pills of opioids were seized by NDLA officers from a suspect, Lawan Abubakar, 33, in Azare Town, Katagum, Bauchi State on Friday, 15 March. Same day, the Nigerian Army transferred a suspect, Muhammadu Rabiu, 37, with 64,000 pills of tramadol recovered from him to the Bauchi State Command of NDLEA. At least 24 kilograms of cannabis was seized from the driver of the transport company, Ikechukwu Obialo, at Shagamu Interchange, Ogun State, by NDLA operatives on Wednesday, 13th March. While in Kano, 2 suspects, Ali Amadou, 27, 5.3 kilograms cannabis, 3,400 pills of tramadol, and 30 bottles of codeine syrup. They were arrested on Monday, 11 March at Gadar Tambrawa area and Friday, 15 March at Samia Baba Hotoro, respectively. While 118 kilograms of cannabis were recovered from a warehouse in Masaka area of Nasarawa State on Saturday, 16th March, NDA operatives in Edo State on Thursday, 14th March, arrested a suspect, Kole Samuel, 50, of same psychoactive substance at Market area of West local government area. Same day, operatives raided the Oloma Okpe forest in Akoko Edo local government area, where they destroyed 3,944.207 kilograms of cannabis on 1.577683 hectares of farmland. While commending the officers and men of the Bayelsa, Adamawa, Oshun, Bauchi, Nasarawa, Edo, Kano, and Ogun commands of the agency for their outstanding feats in the past week, the Chairman Chief Executive Officer of NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Bugamarwa retired, equally applauded their counterparts in all the commands across the country for intensifying their water advocacy lectures, thus creating a fair balance between their drug supply reduction and drug demand reduction efforts. That's it for the rest and seizures. Over to you, Netta.
Thank you, Blessing. My name is Neta Wedozie, and here are some of the water activities across the country for the week. The risks associated with drug abuse are numerous and far-reaching. In light of the complex challenges faced by societies in Nigeria and worldwide, the NDLEA finds it imperative to deploy a comprehensive drug sensitization program that will entrench in the society a culture that shuns drugs and seeks healthy living. The War Against Drug Abuse WADA initiative is a drug sensitization program tailored to fostering preventive measures, breaking the cycle of addiction, and steering communities towards a healthier and more resilient future. On Monday, 11th March 2024, no less than 5 commands facilitated WADA sensitization lectures to staff and students of schools, while the Port Harcourt International Airport Special Area Command enlightened the students of Truth Kiddies Montessori School, Rumosi, and Achievers Christian Academy, Obibo, on dangers of substance abuse when they visited the command on an excursion. The Ocean State Command presented the same to the students and staff of Federal Government College, Ikoron, on the importance of remaining drug-free. Still on Monday, the Seme Special Area Command performed its WADA activity at Moyo Secondary School at Gemowo, Badagry, Lagos, the Katsina State Command at Government Day Secondary School, Charanchi, and the Adamawa State Command at Government Day Secondary School, Michika. The Rivers State Command on Tuesday, 12th March, paid a WADA advocacy visit to the paramount ruler of Ales, His Royal Highness Emperor II, and the Ekiti State Command paid a similar visit to the palace of His Royal Majesty, Oba Adekunle Adeagbo, the Ore of Otin Ekiti. In addition to the WADA advocacy visit to the Royal Fathers, 3 sensitization lectures were facilitated on the same Tuesday, 12th March. The Abia State Command delivered the lecture to students of J. Sharma International School in Werei, the Kano State Command to the community leaders in Kafin, Meyaki, Kwana, Dangora, Kiri local government area, and the Idiroko Special Area Command to students of Ansar Uddin Model College, Idiroko, Ogun State. The Akwa Ibom State Command and the Port Harcourt Sports Command delivered WADA advocacy lectures to students and teachers of Crystal City International School, Uyo, and the students and staff of Community Secondary School at Beta Onye on Wednesday, 13th March. Students and teachers continue to be focal targets of the WADA Enlightenment Program as seen on Thursday, 14th March. The Zone H Command, in conjunction with Ogun State Command, delivered the WADA sensitization lecture to pupils of Olumo Primary School, Lafenwa, Abeokuta. The Lagos State Command delivered the same to the students of D Unique International School, Abesa and Ipaja. The Yobe State Command to students and staff of Nana Aisha Secondary School, Damaturu, and the Anambra State Command to 600 students of University Secondary School, Nise Oka. The Enugu State Command concluded the WADA activities for the week with a sensitization lecture to students and staff of Purple Crown Secondary School, Owani, on Friday, 15th March 2024. That's the update for this week. My name is Neta, and I hand you over to our host, Mr. Femi Babafemi.
Thank you very much there, Neta, and Blessing. Thanks for the update, and welcome back from the news highlight segments. Now let's remind ourselves about some of the rules guiding our process of engagement on this platform today. Please note that when you are allowed on the speaker's corner, please ensure you remain muted until you are invited or called upon to unmute yourself, ask questions, or make contribution. The moment we discover that you leave your mic unmuted, we may have to remove you from that corner so that the noise from your end does not disturb whoever has the mic at that moment. Please let's be well guided on this. And please note, as usual, here we don't discuss politics and we don't encourage unauthorized interruption. So let's try as much as possible to do what we used to do, that is cooperating with us so that we can all enjoy the conversation on the platform. Before we get to our guest, let me quickly remind us again about the NDLA's call center. Please, we have a service that anybody struggling with substance abuse, their relation or friend can access the service of our experts. That is, we have a number of them there, from counselors to psychologists, psychotherapists, and even psychiatric doctors. They work to conversation today. We have a regular from the Northeast, and that is Ibrahim Kuru. Ibrahim Kuru, thank you for being part of today's conversation. We also have Dr. Loretta. Dr. Loretta joins us from Chicago, Illinois. Thank you, Dr. Loretta. I know as a woman, this will interest you again today, and I'm sure you have something to add to the conversation. Thank you, Winnie. Thank you, Farouk Taminu. We'll definitely have quite a number on the space today, so we'll be acknowledging as many as we can as we go by. But then quickly, let's formally introduce our guest speaker today, and that is Mrs. Oluwatoyin Ogunkoni, a clinical psychologist. Oluwatoyin is a foremost family psychologist who works with families and individuals to address and resolve various psychological and emotional issues within um, the family unit. She helps parents to understand and connect with their children, and also works with adolescents in maintaining great mental health by providing them with tools and resources to live a thriving life. Awesome. Oluwatoyin is also, okay, yes, she is the founder of Parenting Support System Limited, an organization that has trained over 5,000 parents in becoming deliberate in their roles as parents. She is equally the convener of the Smart Parenting Community Outreach, a not-for-profit organization that trains and provides parents in less privileged areas with tools and resources to be effective. She's equally okay. Oluwatoyin, with her husband Taiwo, is the founder of Glycan Youth Development Academy, a platform that guides adolescents and young adults in becoming independent, well-balanced, and productive members of society. As a best-selling author, Oluwatoyin has published 4 books and has written several e-books. She currently works in a mental health facility where she works with individuals battling with substance disorder and mental illness. Please join me.
Can you hear me? Please let me know.
Please go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay, great. Okay, so I was just saying thank you for the work you're doing. You're doing a wonderful job. So today I'm here to talk about how families can resolve issues, how family members can resolve issues without resulting to using substance or going into substance abuse. So one of the things we need to know about families is that the family is the smallest unit of every society, yet the family is the most influential part of this larger society. However, despite the fact that we are members of different families, members of a particular family will once in a while have conflicts. They will have issues. And issues are normal. That's one thing we need to know. Conflicts, having issues, it's actually normal. But it's the way we resolve this conflict that now matters. For some individuals, they don't know how to resolve. For individuals, they look for unhealthy ways to resolve or to cope with stress in the family. So, for this discussion, I'll talk about the different types of conflict we have in the families, different ways people resolve this conflict, and I'll finally end up by talking about the healthy ways we can resolve conflicts. Like I said earlier, I said conflicts normal. The conflicts are just disagreement between individuals in a family. However, the way we resolve this conflict, the way we handle this conflict determines if it's going to create a problem or not. Now, what I've done, I've divided conflicts in the family into three different um, categories: conflict between couples, conflict between parents and their children, and conflict among siblings. So I would interchange the word conflict with issues once in a while. Now, among couples, what are the causes of conflict between couples? Why do they fight? Why do couples have issues? The major reason for conflict between couples is the fact that they are unique individuals, individual differences. The fact that couples were raised by different parents, their parents used different parenting style, they were raised with different values and beliefs, and their upbringing different. So because of these differences in the personality of the couple, definitely there will be issues. However, if they know how to resolve these issues, it will not escalate into separation or divorce. Another reason for conflicts between couples is the fact that couples do not communicate effectively. Couples have issues in terms of understanding each other or misinterpreting what the other party is saying. Finance is another major issue in families that can cause conflicts. Lack of finance or not being able to manage their finances appropriately can be a major cause of conflict in the family. We also have issues in terms of different goals and objectives. If the husband has a different goal and the wife has another goal different from the husband, this can cause conflicts. Now, when it comes to the parents, parenting style between the couples can also cause issues in the family. In situations where one parent is of the authoritative type, the other parent is of the permissive type, there will be conflict in the marriage. Emotional and anger issues, also mental issues can actually cause conflicts in the family. Now, when we talk about conflict between parents and their children, there's another source of issue in the family where parents and their children do not agree or where parents and their children have issues. What are the causes of conflicts between parents and children? We have the parenting style of the parent. If the parent is one that is very, very aggressive, the parent is one that's not empathetic, this can actually cause conflict between the parents and their children. When parents have unhealthy expectations for their children, that's another source of conflict. When the communication style between parents and children or the communication pattern between the parents and the children is not effective, that can cause another form of issue. What about generational gap? The fact that you are from another generation and your children are from another generation can actually cause conflict. So we have the Gen Z and the Gen Z millennial, we have the generation Alpha. Their mentality, the way they think, is quite different from the older generation, and that can actually cause another source of conflict. We have um, rules, parents not setting clear boundaries for their children can be another source of conflict. Then let's talk about conflict among siblings. Why do siblings have conflict? Siblings have conflicts due to the fact that they may perceive the one parent favoring the other sibling. Maybe there's limited attention for one sibling, and the other sibling feels, oh, mommy and daddy show so much attention to my older brother or to my younger sister. When there's limited resources, that can also be another source of issues in the family, where there's a change in the family dynamics. Maybe a parent leaves, maybe the parents are divorced, or a parent is dead. That can also be a source of conflict between siblings. Then personality clash, also another source of conflict between siblings. Then mental health issue can also be a source of conflict. Now, I've mentioned different sources of conflict within the family setting. One of the things we need to know is that as individuals, if we don't know how to manage this conflict or these issues right or appropriately, they would escalate, and individuals in the family might use unhealthy ways to cope with this stress. So, what are part of the unhealthy ways individuals use in coping with stress in the family? Apart from trying to escapism, maybe the individual and the family is trying to either numb the effects of the conflict or is trying to escape from reality. That's why we have some individuals going into substance use because they don't want to face the reality. They don't want to face the fact that there's an issue. For some male, they go into alcoholism, some go into drug use. And I've seen cases where women also go into drug use. Some will start by using sleeping pills, they just want to sleep it off, and before they know it, they get addicted to these substances. And for the children too, for the fact that mom is always shouting, dad is always shouting, or the parents are always fighting in the home, the children just want to shut it off. They want to shut off the noise in the home. Some of them actually go into using substances. Another method, another unhealthy ways individual other unhealthy ways individual use in coping with stress in the family could be physical violence. For some individuals, they yell or they result into verbal abuse. For some other individuals, they become manipulative and they tend to guilt trip family members. For some family members, they live in denial. They say, no, this is not happening. No, 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 I don't believe it. No, my children cannot be that. Oh, my husband is not like that. Or they'll say, oh, mom is not like that. They tend to deny what their reality. Then for some other people, they use avoidance, or some other people could become passive aggressive. That's when they show a form of resistance in the home, especially amongst children that are not, they're not that vocal, but they'll just show a bit of passive aggressiveness in the home. Now, what are the healthy ways we can cope with stress in the family? So I've mentioned different forms of stress in the family. I've mentioned communication, I've mentioned finances, I've mentioned the fact that resources might not be enough, I've mentioned the fact that the parenting style of parents might not be right. I've spoken about the fact that individual differences. They're different. Even the economy, our reality now, the economy is stressful. But what are the healthy ways we can cope with stress as family members? Or what are the healthy ways to cope with family stress? The first thing I tell individuals when they come to my counseling room is you need to be able to identify your triggers. Why is there? What is causing the stress? What is causing the stress? You need to be able to identify your trigger. What is the source of the stress? If you don't know the source of the stress, it will be difficult for you to solve the problem. So, understanding and knowing the source of the stress is the number one step or number one way to cope with the stress. Number two, as parents or as individuals in the family, it's very important. So let me start with the parents. As parents in the family, so let me start with the couples. As couples in the family, it's important that yourself and your spouse be on this. You need to be on the same page when it comes to your family, and that's where couple therapy is actually advocated. If you know that you are not, things are not going on well between you and your spouse, please go for couple therapy, where they'll guide you on how to build your relationship. They'll guide you on how to, you know, um they'll guide you on what to do. So part of the things I when I do couple therapy is like, I first of all start by individuals identifying, why did you get married. First of all, you need to know why you got married. If you don't know why you're getting married, there is there will definitely be there will be conflict in the marriage. Now, not just knowing why you're getting married, you need to come together as one to create your family system, your family system, your family constitution. How do you want to run this family? If you don't have a family vision or a family goal, the family will be in disarray.
Director General is Compassionate Care Recovery Initiative. That's CCRI. It's a Lagos-based organization. Thank you very much, Dr. Adedeji. We also have Yusuf Wasil. Thank you, Yusuf Wasil. We also have Israel Adaigo. Israel Adaigo, thank you for coming around. We'd also have Mohammed Bafo. Mohammed Bafo is a regular um, member of this platform. Thank you, Mohammed, for coming around again. Madam Oluwato, if you can hear me, I saw you. You have to ask for the, just make a fresh request, and I'll write immediately approve you so that you can continue with your presentation. Thank you, Mohammed Bafo. I have also seen Auntie Kemi. Auntie Kemi is the proprietor of Lakemba Group. That's one of the great head in Kubwa Extension, Abuja. Here. Mola Abdul Aziz Ayemere. Thank you very much, Abdul Aziz Ayemere. And and Madam Oluwatoyi. Okay, she's still on the platform. I guess it's her network couldn't take not stable enough to sustain her on the speaker's corner. But then, as soon as we get her back on the speaker's corner, then she will continue with her presentation. Is Dr. Dokun in a stable location at the moment?
Yes, I guess so.
Dr. Dokun?
Can you hear me?
Dr. Dokun, if you can hear me, yeah, you're muted,
yes,
but we're not hearing you. I guess also your network.
Are you sure? I can hear you very well.
I can see you're muted, Dr. Dokun, but you are not. I'm not hearing you.
I am hearing you very well. I'm surprised that you're not hearing me. Can you hear me?
Okay, I guess Dr. Dokun also has
oh, is that right?
network issue there. I pray it's not. I hope it's not a Twitter thing or X thing, as they are presently.
Because I can hear you. I can hear you.
I'm told the rest of us can hear. Okay.
Yes, can you hear me?
Dr. Dokun, go ahead. I like it could be hard. Maybe it's from my end.
Maybe but I'm hearing you incidentally. But let me contribute a bit before the presenter comes back.
Dr.
I
Femi,
like. Okay.
can hear Dr. Doko.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm sure Femi will correct his own connection. I'm very happy with this topic because I think NDLA is really trying to connect the families with the issue of substance abuse. And I've always said that the family, as the presenter said, is a foundational part of the society that we need now to return to and begin to do the correction we need to do. Because if we do not correct this from the base of the family, then we're going to have problems. I hear us talk about.
Who is that Dr. Dokun? Okay, Madam
Yes.
Oluwato is back now.
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, let her continue.
Okay, please go ahead. You went off at a point. Thank you very much, Dr. Dokun. I also, I think
Okay,
I had
can you
some
hear me
issues
now?
here. I wasn't here. Yes, we can hear you loud and clear now. Please go ahead.
Okay, where was the last place you heard me?
Where
I was not talking and talking.
Yeah, the point you were transiting to actually some of the coping skills, some of the ways
Healthy coping,
couples can
healthy coping
avoid.
skills.
Yeah, coping skills. Yes,
Okay,
please. That was
okay.
the point we lost.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. It's our net. Okay, fact that before we go into a stop coming before they start having children and all that. So I said for individuals who are already having issues in their marriages, they're not sure of how to handle it, they need to go for couples therapy. However, the first part when they come for couples therapy is I always ask, why are you getting married, or why did you get married? Because you need to know your why. If you don't know your why, then the marriage would as well just be like that, you know. So if you understand the reason you're getting married, very important, then understand the reason for the conflict. Why are we arguing? What's the cause of arguing? Is it because of past? Now go into skills acquisition, or you now start building skills. So for example, if it's finances, your finance on well, you need to have like a system. I don't know if it's about building a system, having a family system in the home, a system around your finances, systems around conflict resolution, system around education. It's important we have systems. We need to create values. This family, what does this family stand for? What is the vision of the family? What are we setting for ourselves? Because if you do not work, children will work, they'll be able to raise well balanced children. And one of the things we do in our organization, we ensure that couples work together so that they can raise their children right. Now, I said if the issue is more of like a family thing, you might need to go for family therapy. But what are the skills we need? We need problem solving skills. It's very important as individuals that we learn how to prefer solutions to problems. If you say there's going to be no problem, you are lying to yourself. There will be problems, there will be issues in the marriage. But how do you resolve? Very important. And part of the things I tell individuals that you need to be able to learn how to prefer options. Don't say it's either this or nothing. No, you need to learn how to prefer options. Another thing each members need to learn, they need to learn each people's view. Also be empathetic. Put yourself in the other person's position. Imagine this thing is happening to you. How would you feel? Very important. The other thing couples or family members need to put in place is need to learn how to set clear boundaries. This is how far I can go. This is how far I can this is how far I can go. This is how far I can allow you to do XYZ. We need to be able to set clear boundaries, and we need to be consistent with our boundaries. Now, for parents whose or for couples whose issues is their parenting style, that is where parenting coaching comes in. You need to get a parenting coach to help you with how to manage right. So you always see that gap. Not life. And one of the things I tell parents is parenting is a skill that has to be learned from heaven with parental skill. If I into the world with any skill, all skills are learned. If for you to do well in whatever job role, whatever role you have, you need to learn the skills required for those jobs. Parents too, we need to learn the skills that we need to raise our children, our teenagers, our young adults. I see a lot of young adults and teenagers who go around aimlessly. They don't have a sense of purpose because they didn't have that father figure, they didn't have that mother figure in their lives guiding them. And as parents, it's important that we guide our children. And when it comes to substance use, has to do with individual, has to do with young adults, children between these ages of 16, 17, all the way to 31, 30. I've even seen cases of 40, And when you ask the person that is 40 or 30, when did you start using substance? They'll tell you when they were younger. Why did you start using substance? I had nobody to guide me. Some will say out of experimentation. Some will say, oh, because they got angry, they were frustrated, and a friend told them, oh, use this substance. It will help you to cool down. It will help you to calm down. I hope you can still hear me.
Yes, loud and clear. Thank you.
Okay. Great. So parents need to acquire skill on how to raise their children well. Couples, you need to acquire skills on how to build your family right. You need to create your family system around finances, around your parenting, around the roles and responsibilities. That your role and your responsibility can be a source of stress or issue in the home. So imagine a home whereby the husband feels it is the woman's job to take care of the children, to cook, to clean, and to do everything. And it's his own job to just sit down, carry newspaper, and fold his leg. That can actually cause resentment in the wife. So, as husbands, as wives, what are your roles? What are your responsibilities? It's important that you identify your roles and responsibility. Another thing parents is how to effectively and assertively that you don't like. Look for the right time and communicate this to your spouse instead of holding and internalizing it, and you're just assimilating, you're just internalizing everything. One day the couple, the wife or the husband will burst out, and that's when anger comes in. So we need to learn how to communicate assertively. There's nothing wrong in you disagreeing with your spouse. There's nothing wrong in children. There's nothing wrong in children. I don't think it's the way, the method you communicate these things matters a lot. And as parents, as couples, if you don't respect yourselves, if you don't speak with respect to each other, there is no way your children will speak with respect to themselves too. Do you understand?
Yeah,
Assertive
we are with you.
communication. Okay, assertive communication, effective communication, very, very important. Then another thing that is very important in handling stress or handling conflict in the home, inner intelligence. Hmm. This is one skill that we all need, because you driving down the street, you see people misbehaving, It's just the fact that they're not emotionally intelligent. Simple things they don't need to about or scream about, you see them misbehaving. I remember there was one, I don't know if it was a gist or a skit that I saw that about a man that an Okada man, a man in a jeep, I think it was a gist, a man in a jeep, an Okada man scratched the car and was going of the jeep and was pursuing the Okada man. Before he knew it, the man slumped and died. Understand your emotion, your ability to manage your emotion, your ability to manage, to understand other people's emotion, manage the way you respond to the other person. If you notice, I didn't say your ability to manage the other person's emotion. No. So emotional intelligence has to do with your ability to be aware of your own emotion, your ability to manage your own emotions appropriately, your ability to understand emotions in other people, and your ability to respond appropriately to other people. That is me just paraphrasing what emotional intelligence is. This is one skill we need in the family. Once we have emotional intelligence, all this stress, all this wanting to use drugs to calm yourself down or to cool yourself down will not come in, because you'll be able to speak up, tell people what is going on with you and all that. Then tolerance is another skill we need in the family. Tolerance between husband and wife. And this is your ability and your willingness to accommodate. When you were raised, is different from the home your wife was, it's different from the home your husband was raised. So you need to learn to tolerate each other's excesses. Let me just put that right. You know, you cannot always have the same opinion. So if you disagree over something, that doesn't mean you should not respect the other person. You know, we can disagree, but that doesn't mean we stop being husband and wives, or that doesn't mean we stop being parents and children. Tolerance is very important. It's another skill we need to learn. Then also your ability to negotiate and compromise, the ability to balance the needs of everybody in the home. Let's not be selfish. Let's learn to be selfless in the home. It's very important. Then also resilience, your ability to bounce back from adversity or crisis. Yeah, crisis will happen, like I said, conflict will happen, issues will happen in the home. But how do you bounce back from this crisis? It's very important. Now, I'm going to give some few things we can do to express healthy way to let out stress. Healthy way to let out stress. So you are stressed. You don't want to talk to your wife. You don't want to talk to your husband. What do? Please go to the gym. Go and exercise. Let out the energy. Let out the pent up emotion. Go to the gym. You can take a run. You can take a walk. You can take a walk down the street. Just go and do any form of exercise is very important. And also, as individuals, we should learn to take care of ourselves. Self-care is very, very, very important, because there are times when, because we are stressed from outside, or we've not been able to take care of our emotion, get and you transfer the aggression either on your wife or your husband or on the children. And especially for those people that are very quiet, that they don't talk, but because they're angry, they just do all sorts of, they throw tantrums, they throw things up and down. It's very important that we take care of ourselves. Once you know your stress, please go and distress yourself. You need to learn how to distress yourself so that you do not transfer the anger on your children or on your spouse. So I'll be stopping here for a few minutes.
All right, thank
Hello.
you very much. Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Thank you very much
Uh,
for the presentation. I think we've been able to speak to quite some of the issues in the homes and how our couples, partners, and their kids, their children can cope and overcome the temptation to go into substance abuse. Okay, but I think at this point, let me also quickly acknowledge some people before we left. We leave. We start asking for contributions, interventions, and questions. Before I come to some of our professionals already on the space for their interventions and contributions. Let me introduce, let me acknowledge Zakaria. I've seen Perpetua Anam Dimane. Perpetua Anam Dimane has always been a consistent member of this platform. I've also seen Abbas Idris. Abbas Idris, thank you for coming around. Baba Bala Kasina, thank you, Baba Bala Kasina. I've also seen Uncle Deji. Thank you, everyone, for coming around. Okay, at this point, we'd like to take the contribution of a senior member of the platform, Dr. Dokun Adedeji. Doc, if you can hear me, just please unmute yourself and let's get your view on the presentation by Mrs. Ogunkami, especially on the topic we have right before us, that's marital issues and substance abuse coping skills we need. Please go ahead, Dr. Dokun. Like I said before, is the founder and director general of Compassionate Care Recovery Initiative (CCRI), and the operation name of that organization is CLAW (CLAW). Go ahead, Doc, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Femi. I hope everyone can hear me. Can you hear me? It looks like Femi does not hear me, but I'm not sure that the others can hear me. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me, please?
I can hear. I don't know. Am I the only one hearing you? I can hear you.
Okay. Let me go.
You can hear. Okay. Can you hear? Can we hear Dr. Dokun?
Yes, I can hear him. Dr. Bafemi, I can hear him.
Okay, please go ahead, Dr. Dokun. If there are other people, I don't know. I'm probably the only one not hearing Dr. Dokun, but I'm hearing other people. But please, Dr. Dokun, if they can hear you, please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mrs. Ogokomi, for this presentation. And I'm glad that we are beginning to take the issue of family very serious, because that is the foundation of the society. If we do not, then the issue of substance abuse will increase. And I do say something when I go to deliver papers. I said to you that many parents, I don't know whether Ms. Ogukomi has the same experience, many parents themselves need parenting. Some of them do not even understand the issue of parenting, because people, and I'm glad you said something, why do people get married? Is it because there's family pressure? Is it because they think, oh, time is right for me to get married? And when people want to get married, what are the guidelines in making their choices? Today, people will be surprised as to how people choose their partners. Oh, I like the way she walks. Oh, I like the hair she has on. I like the hairnet. Those are not fundamental and enduring virtues in a marriage. So if we do not get it right from the very beginning, we begin to have issues. And one thing that I always say, Dr. Kolade taught us something many years ago. He said, seek ye first to understand before you are understood. Many times we do not, even as partners, try to understand our partners. What do I mean by that? If a man behaves in a certain way, has the wife started to say, how is the background of this man affecting him today? Because if we do not begin to understand very fundamental things that bring us together, there will be issues as we be going forward. And I'm so glad, and one of my issues that probably will leave on the platform is this. I think it is now high time that religious institutions should return to the issue of family I think we have left it to the issue of prosperity, to the issue of making money, to the issue of that are not really important to the sustenance of family and society. So that's why today I'm glad about this topic. And I do know because in my experience with the young people that I have seen, majorly it is conflict within the family that pushes them to drugs. Either the family, the father is never there, or the mother is never there. Sometimes families live together, but they are not truly together. I say to Christians particularly, when you have a family altar, the family altar is not ready to pray. It is for discussion purposes, so that people can sit down and say, what is the issue? What the issue do you have? We listen to one another. There are too many times we don't listen, and we are judgmental in our approach. And that is some of the things that Ms. Ogukomi has raised. And I think today we should be encouraged to return to the very basics of our family foundation and begin to do this. If we don't correct these things, the children we are producing will have no ways of coping with the issues that they face, because even at home they can't cope because of the kind of parenting they have. Then we will have, I mean, if we look at the statistics, I'm not sure that Femi has shared the statistics of drug use with us. You find that when the UNODC did it, it was between 15 and 64 range, but they found that the preponderance of highest use was between 25 and 39. And today in practice, we know that we're a lot of young people, even as young as 8, are beginning to use drugs. So what is the problem? We need, I agree totally with Ms. Ogukomi, and I think she should preach this the more. And then we should take this away from every one of us here to the fact that we need to work on this fundamental issue. If we don't, we will continue to have issues. I thank you, Ms. Ogukomi, for the points you have raised, and I hope that many of us will go away here today seeking to understand people more than we seek to be understood. Because if you don't understand where somebody is coming from, you cannot understand where they're going. And then there will always be issues of conflict. I thank you very much, Ferry, for the opportunity to share. Maybe as we go on, I'll have other opportunity to make contributions. But those are the things that I'd like to see at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, there, Dr. Dokun Adedeji. Dr. Dokun Adedeji is the founder and DG of CCRI, that is Compassionate Care Recovery Initiative. It's Lagos-based. Let's try and seek to understand other people more than we seek to be understood. I think that's a key takeaway from the contribution of Dr. Dokun Adedeji from me there. All right, okay, Mrs. Ogunkami, would you want to say something to the contribution from Dr. Dokun before we move to another person? Madam Oluwatoyin, can you hear me? Okay, if she's not responding yet, I don't know whether it's... Okay, let's do... Loretta, are you ready for us?
I just wanted to say what to Doc who spoke. I just want to have a question for her. We know a lot of domestic violence is linked to substance use. Substance people are mostly sometimes under the influence, when they get involved in substance use. So can she tell us more about her experience and how she's been able to address those issues in the families?
The request, I think the request that we're asking for is very
Is there an interruption coming from your end, Loretta? I was hearing some...
Yes, actually in another meeting, I just wanted to drop that question. Yeah.
Okay.
Specifically.
So did you get my question? Did she get my question?
In different sectors.
Okay. Madam Oluwatoyin, can you hear Loretta, please?
Can you hear me, Dr. Bufferi?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
I asked her, we know that domestic violence in some domestic violence cases have been linked to the use of substance. I just wanted to find out from her if she's had those experiences in her work, or if Dr. has also had those experiences in his work, and they could share how they resolved those issues and the next step they took to help with recovery and further support.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Loretta. Dr. Loretta is joining us. You can also see that she's multitasking uh, in another meeting and still trying to be part of this conversation. Thank you very much, Loretta, for all that you do. Okay, Mrs. Ogunkomi, if you are not hearing us, I believe Loretta also directed the same question to Dr. Dokun. Dr. Dokun, would you want to respond to what Loretta is asking?
Yes, thank you very much, Loretta. Yes, one has had a bit of experience with this, the issue of domestic violence, and then resulting either from drug abuse or resulting in drug abuse. Just as Ms. Ogukomi has said, I think the most important thing is to always find out why, the why of something is happening. I do not in any way support domestic violence. I do not. I abhor it. I think it's animalistic. But many times is an issue that is saying to the people who are around to say that person needs help. And in domestic violence, that was a particular experience I had. I won't forget. A young boy of 10, his classmates were running away from him. And also my wife asked him, why is it that everybody's running? He said, oh, I'm trying to show them that I'm the man. At 10, so my wife said, where did you get this attitude? He said, from my father. Because my father beats my mom. And so that is how it makes her to understand that he is the man in charge. So you can begin to understand the genesis of that boy's affiliation to violence. Without them knowing, that is the way we grow up to understand that this is an issue that you can use to control women. And I think our society needs to have a general view of this thing, of the equality of the man and the woman. Sometimes it is difficult for us culturally to accept, but that is the reality, that one is equal to the other. And then if we don't come from that premises, that is why we think one is superior. And in this issue, and I think when this happens, is a matter of the counseling. Individual counseling first, and then collective, and then the dual counseling of the couple. But one thing that one has also said, some women endure domestic violence. Not necessarily because they enjoy it, but because they have gotten used to an emotional trauma that is not predisposing them to accepting this as, oh, maybe this is normal, maybe this is my fault, maybe it's because of what I have done that this is happening. This is a deconditioning that is necessary. And we need to guide each person to a healing point, both parties. The man, the person inflicting the domestic person that is accepting the domestic violence. This is consequent. We must know that one can lead to the other, drug can lead to domestic violence can lead to drug, in which one of them will not do something in order to absorb the consequences of what is happening. I think everything still comes down to the same fact of understanding. Is the society not willing to sit down to understand why things happen? Or mentally, the way we do things, oh, we don't, and then we go fast. Oh, that is how men behave. Oh, that is how men behave. Oh, because of this moral divorce result, I found out society what we are becoming. We are becoming de-facilities in life. And that's why we see the element of humanity that we see one to another. So we need to begin to change and return to how we used to be. If we understand one another, we will quarrel, there's no doubt. But the important thing is, are we able to resolve? Do you have the capacity to resolve the differences? And I think that's the same way we need to look at this issue that Loretta has raised. That would be my contribution.
All right, thank you very much there, Dr. Doku. Madam Ogunkomi, can you still hear us now? I guess she has issues with her network. Okay, let's go to the northeast of Nigeria where we have Ibrahim Kuru. Ibrahim Kuru, if you can hear us, let's get your contribution or your question. Ibrahim Kuru. Ibrahim Kuru, can you hear us? Okay, if Ibrahim Kuru is also having issues, then Sushe, Josushe, can you hear us? If Jones, okay,
Okay,
please.
please, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. We
I
can
think my
hear you.
background is a little bit noisy, but I would just want to thank Doc for this, Doc and the agency for this wonderful topic. I have a lot to say, but because of where I am, I'm just going to summarize it. There's one thing she pointed out: the family is the smallest unit of the society, was the most influential. We have to look at it from that angle that everything around, if you are bringing in the next generation of drug-free children, it starts from the home itself. I will give an example of one of the reasons why I think I'm not into drugs. I remember growing up and I saw my elder brother rolling up paper to strike matches. We all know how to. Sparking he got from his life, I think it's one thing that keeps resonating on my head. Why I would not even take one cigarette to say I want to start smoking. What am I saying? If you want to correct or breed the next generation of children that are free, we need a home and we need a family. Now, for individuals who are not yet married, what happened to your spouse that you are dating? Have you checked out the drug life of that your spouse? Drugs and narcotics, they can affect the thinking and the actions of human beings. If you look at domestic violence, most of them will tell you that they don't do it with their clear eyes. Because when they're high, you can do almost anything. And after doing it, when you're now sober, you start reflecting on, oh, is it me that really did it? You just realize that a lot of unnecessary domestic violence, a lot of death cases would have been prevented if we had partners who actually are drug-free or are being treated rightly. I'll point out an example of one of our staff, popular musical staff, who has been going around the internet couple of, I think a month now. We all know the individual. And during one of the course of the interview, he said when he takes this substance, he said he feels like a king. And he enters short and he does not feel like king because in his head he's telling him that I'm a king, I'm a king, I'm a king. Now, he needs it to an individual who have a spouse that is acting that way. Let's be frank with ourselves. I can tell you vividly well. Michelle said it cost me trauma for me to have a spouse who will walk into any shop and not stay and be calling for wherever I am. The wife has been keeping you. So something that happened is branded house and social things. Two things. Make sure you have vetted the drug capability of your partner. That is raising the next generation of drug-free children. You don't just jump into marriage because of pressure. You don't just jump into marriage because of I love you. You love him, but yes, after then, when he's sober, what does he do in his spare time? Does he take these things? If he does, is he seeking help? Or we can manage it. Don't say you can manage it because a day where you will not see the normal substance for him to take is scarce and he's acting this withdrawal syndrome. You can be next to him. Now, also, as a married couple itself, you know that you have issues with drug. How well do you tell your children about it? How well do you prevent your children living? As a Christian, there's one thing that keeps resonating. It says, train up a child in the way he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. It is once you teach your children in the home, that's what they will take outside. I'm not saying peer pressure is not there. Peer pressure is absolutely there. But when they have strong family doctrine, strong family background, it's entirely possible for them to display the right path. So as a family, I'll just summarize that as a family, this is a very important topic. It is very, very essential for us to treat drug abuse and drug substances as a family first. Before we start talking about religion, schools and the rest, as a family, it is extremely important. If you have a partner that is suffering from it, how well do you refer that partner to seek help? Seek help for that partner. Not stay silent. Seek help. Most domestic violence are being caused by drug abuse. I can tell you most of them. I have various experiences which I would love to share, but because of the one's environment. Thank you very much for this. I would say I really, really appreciate for this topic. It's came at the right time.
Thank you very much there, Jones Uche, for your contribution. Jones Uche is also that emphasizing um, that strong family tie that and the need for us to know ourselves and provide support, empathy, and even before proud to coming together as a couple to also understand what are the issues with each other. And that's why one of the things why the agency has been pushing for drug tests for prospective couples so that about the wedding, but then to understand what the issues are and get treatment so that we won't get into the marriage before we start discovering all of these issues. Whatever the issues are would have been sorted out before we get into the marriage proper. And that's the only way to avoid one partner chasing the other in the middle of the night with a knife or with a cutlass. Some of the things we have been seeing in some of the recent cases. All right, that said, now we have also one of the very senior member of this platform, Dr. Abdullah, has come up. So let's take the. Okay, Ibrahim Kuru, are you stable now?
Yes, I'm stable now. Sorry, I was on transit.
Let's quickly, we called you earlier, so let's quickly hear from you because your network might disappear, and then we'll come back to Dr. Abdullah. Please go ahead.
Yes. So I'm at the IDP camp now, so there might be noise in the background. So like I'm happy for this topic today because I am a married man and I've been living for over 20 years. So actually before I got married, I married someone that we were together for about 15 years before them. He knew about my drug problem, but he didn't know the extent or how far I had gone about it. So when we got married, our first year of marriage was very testing because I think I went haywire. If you could imagine, in my first year of marriage, I lost 15 million naira to drugs within 7 months. And luckily, there was no physical violence involved, but there was a lot of emotional abuse when it comes to this stuff. So if we can all imagine you are the wife now in this marriage and your husband is out there abusing day and night, sometimes I go missing for like 3 days without getting through to me. These were the things that he was going through. So for our speaker today, my question is, since my wife always asks me that, who is there for her? Because usually when people come, they'll be like, let's feed the addict or let's feed the user. But she always says, who is there for her? Like, we need to ask who is there for them. They need someone to counsel them. I know there's a lot of emotional trauma involved with living with someone that uses. Even though I've been sober for over 2 years now, and I've been doing a lot of advocacy, and there's still that trauma experience. Some days she wakes up and cries, and when she thinks about things that have happened, or things that could have been. So please, we need to work on how we can help our wives out there. They need that support as well. That's my contribution for today. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Ibrahim Kuru is giving us a life story. That's his own experience, having gone through this battle, long indeed, his own battle. It's a very long one, over 2 decades of battling with substance abuse and the impact of that on his marriage and what his wife went through and is still going through, asking the question, who is there for her? Okay, on that note, let's bring in Dr. Abdullah. Dr. Abdullah, who is there for her? Let's have your contribution, please.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you, Mr. Femi Babafemi, for all you do. Thank you to our guest speaker today, and Mr. Dokun for the wonderful contribution. Sorry, the network has not been great recently. This topic is apt, very apt. Like we have always said, if we get it right at the family level, we are likely going to make a lot of progress in our fight against drug abuse. Now, if you look at drug abuse and marital crisis, the relationship between these two is bi-directional. I said this because marital crisis can be a recipe for individuals to begin to use drugs as a coping mechanism. And couples who use drugs are also more likely to have marital crisis. So this is a very important topic because it is important to recognize the triggers, what are the things that bring about this marital crisis, like the presenter had mentioned, you know, and if we recognize the triggers and our typical thought patterns, we can intervene before this crisis get out of control. And we need to understand the importance of managing this crisis in a way, a manner that will prevent it from escalating. What are the benefits of properly managing crises in marriages or within families? It can improve relationship. The relationship within the family stand to benefit if these crises are properly managed. You know, anger can damage your relationship with family and even with friends and colleagues. You know, so when we manage it properly, this can be prevented. We can also have, we can also expect to have better mental health outcome if we are able to manage our crisis, you know, in an adaptive manner, rather than allowing it to escalate. Because wherever there is crisis, there's most likely going to be stress, anxiety, depression, and all these can lead individual trying to medicalize, you know, or help themselves by using drugs, and that is what this crisis can do. Even our physical health, there is physical health benefit when we are able to manage these family problems in a very good manner, because constant crisis can have a lot of physical health consequences like increased blood pressure, heart problems, and so forth and so forth. Okay, we are also able to increase productivity. Once family members are able to come together and solve their problems, people are able to focus on their individual roles and jobs, and the productivity will be better. You know, and then our self-esteem also, by being able to manage the crisis better, can improve our self-esteem. So all this can help in preventing individuals from going into drug. Now, if you look at the impact this crisis can have on children, you know, a child that is constantly witnessing quarrels or crisis between the parents, they are more likely going to adopt a maladaptive way of coping with this stress, you know, and they are more likely going to use drugs compared to children who are brought up in family settings where crises are minimal, you know. So, but I would have loved to hear more about some of the techniques we can use, you know, in this part of our world. We still don't see reason to see therapists when we have this kind of problem, family crisis, or something like that. It can be of great help if we leverage on professional help to solve some of these problems. You know, at least professionals are able to take care of the cognitive distortions that happen that lead to this conflict. You know, they are able to help us understand better what these trigger situations are and how to manage them better. So we are able to have better cognitive restructuring. We are able to learn problem solving skills. You know, they are able to teach us certain things like relaxation techniques that can help us with managing the conflict better. You know, we can learn communication skills, better communication skills, how to communicate with our partners even if there are crises, and how to shield and protect children. You know, when you lose anger, you must know what to say in the presence of children, and you must know that it's not all the things that should be said where these children are. So we should be able to learn good communication skills, and we can do that. We can get a lot of that from the therapies, you know, including assertive training, active listening, conflict resolution strategies. They
Ask or plead that you stand by to help in responding to questions that are already in our GM at this point. Obviously, our guest, Mrs. Owukami, is difficult to get on this topic discussed on. She's back again. Uh, let's hope she'll be her network will be stable this time around. Okay, but then still at that, we still need Dr. Dokun and Dr. Abdullah to be on standby so that they can help to respond to some of the questions flooding our DM. Mrs. Oluwatoyin, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Thank God you have been able to get doctor. You need to special Dr. Dokun and Dr. Abdullah actually provide a lot of support
Okay,
in
thank you so
between
much,
while
sir.
your network. All right, thank you very much. Okay, you almost okay. Let me direct there have been great contributions from Dr. Dokun. There have been great contributions from Ibrahim Kuru. Ibrahim Kuru actually narrated his own first-hand experience, having struggled with these illicit substances for over 2 decades, and then in the first year of his marriage, this also brought issues, and again, even up till now, the wife still has experienced when they got married, and she discovered that indeed his drug use problem is beyond what any person can cope with. He actually directed a question to you, which Dr. Abdullah also helped to respond to, and that was, because he said that indeed in the first year of his marriage, for days he may just leave the house just to go and blow some money on drugs, and then the wife will not even know his whereabouts and all of those things. And up to today, the wife still suffers from the trauma of that experience. So that the wife keeps asking who is there for her. Would you want to help him provide some?
Yes, I'll speak on that. So the thing about substance use is that it also affects the family, immediate family, and extended family. In most cases, because the immediate family would always want to shield it because of the stigma, the immediate family don't seek help. But there's actually help if you come for therapy sessions. Like in our organizations, we have what we call the behavioral couples therapy, whereby we work with both the husband and the wife, or we work with both the wife and the irrespective, we work with the couples, and we provide them with support when it comes to substance or addiction. We provide support to the couples. So it depends on where they go for, where they go to. There's always support. But the thing about that, because of the stigma attached to substance use, a lot of individuals don't speak up. They don't say this is what they are facing or this is what they are battling. And because they don't speak up, it's difficult for them to get help. So it's very important that we speak up, get a therapist, speak to a therapist, get someone. Don't die in silence. That's what the first thing I would say. Because the trauma after, maybe the spouse is healed, but the fact that you remember the things you went through, that's what we call trauma. The trauma can be very, very bad, and can also affect the relationship. There's no trust in the relationship, and can also affect the spouse's relationship with the children. I hope I gave enough answers to that.
All right. Thank you very
Hello?
much, Miss. Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you,
Hello?
Miss.
Can you hear me?
We can loud and clear. I can hear you. Okay, so Dr. Abdullah
Hello?
would like to. We can hear you. Don't worry. We can hear you. Abdullah is signifying you want to.
Yeah, you see, is a sad situation. I think we need to understand.
Hello.
It's not a rehabilitation ground. I have seen people, in fact, countless number of times, you see somebody with drug use problem, instead of the family assisting and ensuring that this person, they say, let's get him married. If we get him married, he will become responsible. That is really a huge mistake, and that is being unfair to the person you are getting married to. Fortunately, in the case of this young man that has narrated his, at least he understands that this is a problem, and that is a, you know, once he realized that this is a problem, I think he should make himself available for rehabilitation. He should take this. We know rehabilitation is not easy. It's a painful process. But being that he has come to the realization of the damage he is doing to the family, that his drug use problem is causing the wife and by extension the family, I think he should, look out for help. He should seek for help, and he should subject himself to the rehabilitative process so that he can get his life back. That is the least he can do for the wife. That is the barest minimum he can do for the wife, is to get himself rehabilitated so that he can be the husband he desired to be, the husband the wife desire him to be. I think that is the least he can do. And it is a good thing that he has seen the problem, he has realized, he has gotten the insight into the problem. So that is the biggest step he could have taken, and he has taken that. The next step is to subject himself to the rehabilitative process. Let him reach out, for help and get the help. But my emphasis still remain on the fact that people should stop seeing marriage as a form of rehabilitation ground. It is not. Nobody should be subjected to this. That you just marry somebody out because you believe the person have drug use problem, and you think if you marry the person out, the person, will change his behavior automatically. That is an erroneous assumption.
Hello, can you hear me?
So let's get that clear. And
hello,
for
can
the
you
young,
hear me?
you should and, his hand,
trauma. Say the question who is there for her, and that's why what brought about request to Dr. Okay, Dr. Abdullah,
Yeah.
okay, please go ahead.
Yeah. In that case, there's something we call trauma epithelial trauma. From this narration, obviously, it means the wife had been traumatized, and need some kind of therapy and get back to her best self. So it shouldn't just be assumed that
Ibrahim, did you get the intervention by Dr. Abdullah there? You to clarify what happened. But he did recommending that your wife probably needs some interventions also because of the trauma she's gone through. Okay, Dr. Doku, we want to say something?
Yes, I'd like to. Ibrahim, let the wife be able to say, disgorge their mind of, look, this is what I had gone through. And let Ibrahim also, in the same space, be able to say, look, this is it. Because the wife will be asking, who is there for me? If you can't assimilate the fact. You are talking to me about somebody who is not living with me, who has traumatized me. So both of you need to sit down and how you are willing to help with the trauma and how you have caused it, and then to help the healing. For you, you are only getting healing from that. I'm telling you, you are still having emotional healing. Continue on you, it may destabilize your healing. So don't take it for granted, Ibrahim. I think you need a space.
Thank you very much. Okay, Ms. Oluwato, would you want to agree with Dr. Abdullah and Dr. Dokun on that?
Yes, I agree with Dr. Doku.
Okay, I think we lost your network. Okay, coming in. Or you have and he's also having his. I think I have somebody, a very senior member of the platform who has.
No. Totally accept and appreciate your contribution because we are going to.
Provide you some uh, assistance on that because your network is really at this point. Okay, like I was saying before, I think just before we run out of time, we have barely 15 minutes to the hour. Okay, so let's quickly have Dr. Kemi Lawyer has been away for a while, and I've just seen her come back.
Good afternoon, Mr. Baba and everybody. Good afternoon.
I'm glad to see you. Or whether
I'm in Africa.
Oh, okay.
I'm in
Very
Africa.
good. You are back to our very good region, right?
African Games. We're in Accra right now. African Games. Nigeria is doing good, number 2. But we're in Accra. We're doing well. All the pictures are on my page. I wanted to say this. A lot of what we're talking about today, I've been listening with KJ's account, and then I came on my own account because I'm really in a stadium right now, and I have a cold. So let's get to the point. Ibrahim, what I heard everybody talking about is something that we already know that happens, okay? And a lot of people will say, what do you know about marriage? You'll be giving marriage advice if you've never been married. Yeah, I'm 59, I've never been married, but I know about marital issues and substance abuse because I'm a pharmacist. So one thing we don't talk about is how it all starts, okay? I have a friend who's passed now, and mother of a physician, started with marital issues and she started to use prescription drugs. It starts with prescription drugs. We have to learn what the uppers and the downers are. We don't use those terms in Nigeria, maybe because we don't know it, but uppers are stimulants. They're the drugs that make you feel heightened sense of confidence and you feel good. And then the downers are the ones that actually have the CNS depressant, properties. Central nervous system. These are the type of drugs that produce a sedative effect by slowing down the messages sent and received between the central nervous system and the brain. So they make that individual feel relaxed, drowsy, and they don't feel pain, they don't feel anything. These are drugs that are legal. Remember, I told you, Mr. Babafemi, I want to come in and talk about prescription drug education and how it turns into drug abuse. When my son was on tramadol for that, injury that he had in America, and I spoke to him, I followed up everything because tramadol is for pain, it's for people like you, but the people abusing it are the ones that we don't want abusing it. So going to my point, ecstasy, methamphetamine, and nicotine, cigarettes, those ones are present in Nigeria, and even cocaine. And then the prescription drugs in America, Adderall, Ritalin, all these ones they use for hyperactive disorder. People are abusing this stuff. And I find women, when there's a bad marriage, I find the women going straight for the pills. And this friend that passed away will call me in America and said, I'm taking this drug so I can feel better. Now in those days, 2001, 2002, you can just walk into a pharmacy in Nigeria and ask for what you want. But today, many of them are controlled. Now, the downers are the ones that are very popular in Nigeria. Ibrahim, you have to focus on your wife because there are some things she might be doing that you can't see. Like I said, the downers are depressants. Okay, those are alcohol. Alcohol is the most addictive drug in the world, and it's legal. Your wife might be going there and drinking some wine in the corner and you don't know, or maybe a beer, alcohol shot, Benzodiazepines are there. Valium is in Nigeria. You know what I mean? Barbiturates, all these different drugs. Heroin is in Nigeria. Fentanyl, and of course the prescription painkillers, anything that's containing codeine and all that. So we need to know about this part. And I think maybe, Mr. Babafemi, when I have some time, I'll come and do that show, because it's prescription drug education is so important, because teenagers are abusing these drugs in America because they feel like abusing it, blah, blah, blah. But then there are also teenagers that are taking these drugs for injury. My son somersaulted on a bike and his leg was fractured. He's healed now, but it was serious, and he had to be on tramadol, diclofenac, all this stuff. So you have to educate them. So please, let's focus more on the uppers and downers. All these drugs, prescription drugs, and alcohol and other things that women, are taking. Because I've seen bad marriage.
Take any message from our GM. Let me read this question from our GM to you, Mrs. Ogunkami. If you can hear us and your network will allow you to respond to this.
I can hear you.
All right, very well. Glad to hear that. Okay, what are the heavy boundaries to set when dealing with substance abuse in a marriage? Do you get that question?
Yes, I did.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, so when we're talking, number one, if it has to do with the husband and wife, yeah, you have to set boundaries in terms of finances. Very important, because if there are no boundaries in terms of finances, the person that is using substance might dip his or her hand into the family finance and ruin the family completely. Now, also setting boundaries in terms of physical touch, in terms of physical abuse or violence. The couples need to set boundaries in terms of that. If there are issues in the family, if we're having conflicts in the family, it should not result to violence, it should result to physical violence. And Tony said earlier that most times when there is substance abuse in the marriage, there's always domestic violence. So physical violence, setting boundaries in terms of physical violence should be set. Also, setting emotional boundaries.
Oh, when her intervention was getting smooth and interesting again, her network disappeared. Mrs. Ogunkami, we lost your network again there, unfortunately. And here we are approaching the hour. Okay, let me quickly throw this at Dr. Abdullahi. Dr. Abdullahi, please let me quickly throw this to you. And okay, that's coming from Janet. Janet is asking, okay, what role does social support play in helping partners with substance abuse? What role does social support play in helping partners with substance abuse? And again, just a moment, Dr. Abdullah. In addition to that, Ibrahim Kuru's case appears to be a very interesting and intriguing one, because in his response, in his contribution, he did also say that he was with his wife for 18 years. They were dating for about 18 years, and all the while he was using illicit substances, but the wife never knew until the first year, or the ex never knew the extent until the first year of their marriage. What does that tell us, and how do we cope or guide against such? Please go ahead, Dr. Abdullah.
Okay, let me start with the first one. Social support, not just for substance use, but for all spheres of life. Social support it usually come in handy. A couple with substance use problem, if the person have the right social support, the person is able to open up, and let bear the problem as it is. So we are able to know the extent of the problem, or let me say the other partner is able to know the extent of the problem, and they are able to discuss, about getting solutions to these problems. Usually individuals who lack this social support, they are more likely going to conceal either the drug use problem or the extent of the drug use. You know, they will not have the confidence to speak out and to tell the full extent of what the problem is. So usually they'll be hiding, or they are unable to lay bare what the problem is. And once you don't know the extent of the problem, you are unable to know the extent of your intervention. So social support is very, very good. It also, help us fight the stigma involved in substance use. Once the individual have that social support, look, we understand this is a problem. We are not uh, entirely blaming you for being a useless person or being this and that. We know there is a problem. You have our support. Now, what do we do about this problem? We think we will need to get help for you. You understand? So it opens door for possible rehabilitation and for possible solutions to the problem. So social support is very, very, very important. Very, very important. An individual who have social support is less likely going to go out, to other peers seeking for advice, in which case the person may be misadvised, you know. So the person always know that I have people I can talk to, I have people that will advise me properly, I have people that will support me in my journey to recovery. So that is very, very important, you know. Now coming to the second issue, I'll still say it is unfortunate that for that long, either she didn't know the extent of the substance use problem, or she was completely oblivious of the fact that he was using a substance. I will say perhaps she wasn't observant enough, and he too did not, find it necessary to open up to him. Perhaps to open up to her. Perhaps maybe he believed if she knew the problem existed, she might have changed her mind, about settling down with him or whatever. But now that they are together and this problem had happened, thank God he had gotten the rehabilitation he needed to have, and he had healed, he has healed. But the trauma, obviously, the wife suffered is still with her, is still lingering, and by extension, even though he has healed, he has not completely healed. As long as the wife is still having problem, definitely he problem. So like we said, there is need for them to have therapy. There is need for them to sit down and get things sorted out so that they can get back to the path of having, a well-functioning family. You know, and like we always say, stigma can drive people underground. Stigma can make people reluctant to open up. You know, and until and unless we are able to deal with stigma, we will have a lot of cases like this, individuals hiding their problems, hiding the extent of their involvement in substance use, because they know if they speak up, they may get punished by the society. And a person may not get a job, you may not be given a wife, or things like that because of your problem with or your involvement with substance. So until the society decide to destigmatize this problem and realize that these are health issues, they are as much as health issues as they are social issues, and they need our support. They need our, our support to go along with the recovery, to be able to take the recovery journey, in their stride. They need the support of the family. They need the support of the society. So until we do that, people will continue to hide the problem, and we will only get to know when it is already very, very, very advanced. So that is what I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, there, Dr. Abdullah. Auntie Kemi is writing, not Dr. Kemi lawyer. This is another Kemi anyway. That's the proprietor of Lakembo Group of Schools, Kubwa Extension in Abuja. She's writing brilliant contribution from Dr. Kemi lawyer. Drug prescription is an issue in Nigeria. Okay. Thank you very much, Auntie Kemi. There. Okay, let's take just 1 minute to the hour. Let's take the parting shot from Dr. Dokun. Dr. Dokun, your final thoughts on this issue today. Thank you, sir.
Very, thank you very much, Femi. And I must commend Mrs. Ogumaki. I hope I'm correct. Or Ogunkomi, I'm not sure now. But honestly, this is
Ogunkami.
I think this is a topic that needs reiteration. Maybe in another month or something, we should go back to it. The issue of family is so critical. Also, it's associated with the social support we are talking about. It's associated with the fact of how does the future hold? What does the future hold for us in terms of substance abuse? If we do not begin to deal with the issue of family and the cohesion of family and then the unanimity that needs to be built within the family, the problem is going to get escalated. And I think thank you very much, Ms. Ogukomi, for this. And I thank Femi also for giving us this topic. And I think it's a topic that we need to rediscuss again. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir, Dr. Dokun Adedeji. Dr. Dokun Adedeji is the founder and Director General of Compassionate Care Recovery Initiative, CCRI, operating under the operational name of CLAW, that is CLAW. They're operating from Lagos, Nigeria. Okay, I think we're going to be closing the space with the final shot from our compatriot in Chicago, Illinois, Dr. Loretta. I know you just came back, so let's have your final thoughts on this topic today so that we can close the space. Go ahead, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bafemi. I just had to drop off from the call to focus on the other meeting in the office. I want to just thank everyone working in this space, and I'm also very happy that from what the guest speaker has talked about and what Dr. Dokun had mentioned, the heart of the work is at the family level. If most of us have been regularly, I'm a strong advocate of intervention. It all starts at that unit. So, and I usually say, and I'll keep saying, that we should all be advocates in our sphere of influence. And when we start from our sphere of influence, there's a lot we can do. Your neighborhood, your families, during Christmas, during occasions, talk about it, and hopefully things will turn around. So I want to thank you and everyone doing the great job in Nigeria. Thank you, God bless you, and I pray that things will turn around for good. Thank you, and enjoy your evening, everyone.
Thank you there, Dr. Loretta. Okay, Mrs. Ogunkomi is okay. She's gone back again. All right. We'd like to appreciate everyone that has been part of this conversation today, especially our guest speaker, Mrs. Oluwatoyin Ogunkomi, a foremost family psychologist who works with families and individuals to address and resolve various psychological and emotional issues within the family unit. Indeed, Mrs. Ogunkomi works in a mental health facility where she works with individuals battling with substance use disorder and mental illness. As always, she's the founder of Parenting Support System Limited and also convener of the Smart Parenting Community Outreach. She, along with her husband, also founded Glicking Youth Development Academy. I'll tell you that indeed, no doubt we found a good choice in her to speak on the topic of today. Once again, we'd like to appreciate her for being part of the conversation today. We'd also like to appreciate all our compatriots from across the world that have been part of this conversation, especially those who have contributed. We're talking of our regular Dr. Abdullah. Dr. Abdullah is a consultant psychiatrist at the Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Zaria. Thank you very much, Dr. Abdullah. And also our own senior compatriot on this project, Dr. Dokun Adedeji. Dr. Dokun Adedeji is the DG of Compassionate Care Recovery Initiative, CCRI, based operating from Lagos. Thank you very much. And again, we have Dr. Kemi Olunloyo, who has been on sabbatical for a while, but then we're glad, and I'm very happy that I got quite some people who were already appreciating her own contribution also to the conversation. Thank you. Indeed, like Dr. Dokun suggested, since this is a very interesting and topic that touches every home, where we definitely come back with something around the family again in a couple of weeks on this space also. So apart from, can I still list, we passed the hour already, so let me just, we appreciate everybody, especially Ibrahim Kuro, who joined us from Maiduguri. Thank you very much for the great work you are doing there, and please note all the suggestions, all the recommendations from all the experts on the space for you and for a family therapy, that is you and your wife, notwithstanding the fact that you are doing good, you are recovering well, you are doing well, but then because you did say that your wife still asking who is there for her, meaning she's still going through some trauma or the effects of what she had gone through in the past. So please work with us, just get in touch with me, and we'll definitely get you some support from this end. Since your family is based in Abuja here, we'd like to appreciate everyone that has been part of this space today. Yes, it's Friday, and there is that tendency for people to let down their guard and do what they would not normally do with clear eyes. Please, let's ensure that we enjoy our weekend within limits, and also abstain totally from substance abuse. Let's always stay within the ambit of the law, so that we will not regret what happens after. I also like to appreciate all my colleagues from this end that have been working behind the scenes to support. That's Shidi Musa, Mahmoud, Dele, Val, Blessing, Neta, and Kumbi, Vina, and all of you guys. Let me not just waste more time by listing all your names. We appreciate all of you and all your contributions. For me, it's bye for now, but please remember that you can always go back to this conversation. It's recorded. Go back to it on our handle. Take a whole, get the link and listen to it again and learn one or two things. You can also share the link with others, family members, friends, who probably didn't have the opportunity to listen to the conversation, so that they can also benefit. Next week we'll come again with another interesting topic for us to discuss. Until then, my name is Femi Babafemi. I'll leave you with my colleague Mahmoud to close the space. Bye.
Don't do drugs, don't do drugs, don't try it though. He go choke you, oh. He go steal your sunshine, oh. He go shock you, oh. He don't kill him any youth for my area, even for your area. When you start it to stop, it no go easy. As you dey drag am go, he dey drag you down. Water come up from my eyes, oh. When I remember all the guys, oh. When many of them kicking bucket, oh. Some cut to socket, oh. Make we no forget, oh. No dey talk it, oh. Say, don't do drugs. Rock up, you see body, oh. Don't do drugs. Don't go wound your busybody.